AEW Dynamite 17th of April 2024 review. Let's get into it. So the show opens with Jon Moxley, the brand new IWGP World Heavyweight Champion, coming down to the ring. He recently beat Tetsuya Naito at a New Japan event and won the world title. He comes down, cuts a motivational, pure babyface promo. Can someone tell me when Jon Moxley turned face? I remember him being a heel. I might have missed something, so if I have missed something, let me know down in the comments below. I might just be forgetting a moment that he turned face. Pure babyface promo from Jon Moxley. He then mentioned that he has a problem with the Don Callis family. And he then called out the biggest and the toughest that they had in Powerhouse, Will Hobbs, and said he's going to take him to the deepest and darkest places when they wrestle. He's not just going to make him quit, he's going to make him suffer, because it would be too easy just to make them quit. Jon Moxley cuts a good babyface promo. We then move on to Mercedes Monoi in the back, where she cuts a promo on her recently being attacked in the last episode of Dynamite when the lights went out in the middle of an interview and they attacked her. She said a whole bunch of, I'm the CEO, this stuff, the CEO, that stuff, the usual stuff, which doesn't really hit. It's just not good. Anyway, she then accuses both Julia Hart and Willow. It could be either one of them, she says, because Willow could be making it seem like it's Julia Hart, and Julia Hart just could be Julia Hart, could be doing Julia Hart things. Anyway, we then move on to Adam Copeland and Willow taking on Brody King and Julia Hart. Adam Copeland comes out to the ring, huge reception as per usual, and then we get, on the big Titantron, we see Willow attacked backstage, or lying on the floor backstage after she had been attacked. We got Chris Statlander next to her telling her, you can't go out, don't go out. I think it's Chris Statlander that attacked her. Anyway, so then out comes Brody King and Julia Hart, and they attack Adam Copeland, or Brody King attacks Adam Copeland, and it's basically just a one-on-one match with Julia Hart standing on the apron, ready for a tag, and just getting involved here and there with some heelish tactics. Good match nonetheless, and out comes Willow when Adam Copeland is really needing a tag partner. She gets the hot tag, big moves back and forth, taking out Julia Hart, taking out Brody King even, and then we get Julia Hart attacking Willow with a chain and then putting her in a submission, and the ref calls the bell. So Julia Hart and Brody King get the win. Willow looks like she's got something to overcome this weekend at Dynasty. I think she's still going to win this weekend at Dynasty. Decent match. Went on a bit long. I think the Adam Copeland and Brody King stuff could have been a lot shorter. Get to the point. We know it's coming. Don't make this boring until at the moment happens. You know what I'm trying to say. We all could see Willow coming back out. Don't prolong it to the point where we just like, okay, can it happen now? You get what I'm saying. But good match nonetheless. We then had a quick Samoa Joe interview with Renee Young, or Renee Good, or Renee Paquette, whatever her name is. This is going to be a feature on this series. Anyway, he basically calls Swerve Strickland a choke artist and a punching bag, and just cuts a promo on Swerve Strickland getting ready for their fight this weekend. Then after the break, we have an FTR promo package coming up, and we just hear cut it, and the Young Bucks at the back with Tony Khan, who looks like a bobblehead, nodding the whole time, just doing this while everyone's talking. Anyway, they cut a promo on FTR. We now know it's a ladder match. I'm not sure if that was confirmed before, but it's a ladder match this weekend between the Young Bucks and FTR for the World Tag Team titles. And of course, this leads into the match between the Elite, so the Young Bucks and Okada, taking on Pac, Daniel Garcia, and who was the last person? Penta. Now this match was pretty good. Again, went on too long. I'm finding a theme here. AEW's matches seem to go too long when they don't need to. Especially the tag matches. I can handle a singles match going on too long where you're not sure who's going to get the win. You're not sure what's going to happen. But a tag match, sometimes when it goes on too long, you can read what's happening within the tag match. They're getting heat on this person, so this person can get the hot tag. They're getting heat on that person, so that person can get the hot tag. Anyway, Pac, excellent in this match. Pac is always excellent. It's good to see Pac on TV again. Super quick, super strong, super athletic. Pac will always do good on TV, and I think that's a sleeper for this weekend. I think it might end up being Match of the Night, which is strong. Match of the Night to Dynasty, which is a strong call because we've obviously got Ospreay and Danielson. We've got Swerve and Joe. There's a lot of good matches, but I think Pac and Okada could end up being Match of the Night. Anyway, the Young Bucks and Okada get the win after a double super kick to Daniel Garcia, followed up with the Rainmaker, and they get the win. We then have a segment between Chris Jericho and Hook in the ring. Chris Jericho and Taz are standing in the ring. Out comes Hook. Chris Jericho obviously asked Taz if he could get Hook out there so they could have a conversation. Jericho then tells Hook why he pulled him off the apron, because Hook is not listening to him. Hook needs to listen to him if he wants to do well. He's not quite there yet. And then he starts throwing shots at Taz. Taz is telling him to calm down. And then Jericho pushes Taz over, and this obviously gets Hook riled up now. Hook grabs Jericho and basically calls him out for another match. So I'm assuming, if it hasn't been already confirmed, let me know, guys. But I think we're going to get Hook and Jericho at Dynasty again. Now, the Dynasty card was stacked before this event, before Dynamite. And now they've added 1 or 2 extra matches, and I'm thinking this is going to be a long show now, which is not necessary. The card was perfect. We didn't need all of this. Some stuff you can say for Double or Nothing. It's 5 weeks away. Keep building. Anyway, good segments. I like the idea that they brought Taz in. It brings an element of... It allows Hook to get a bit emotional. It allows Hook to have a reason for his actions. It allows us to see a different side of Hook, which I'm hoping that we can see as this feud goes on. We then had Swerve with his interview with Renee Young, Renee Good, Renee Paquette. And he basically says that he might be a punching bag to Swerve or to Samoa Joe, but he always gets back up. He will not give up. He will not stop until he wins that AEW championship. And I believe him. I think his time is coming this weekend. But he also says, I'm going to speak to Joe like a man in the ring. And we'll get to that later on. We then had a match between Mariah May and Deonna Purrazzo. And decent match, nothing special. They were doing their stuff. Also went on maybe a bit long. Maybe not. Maybe they needed a bit of time. So let's leave it at that. Decent match. They did their thing. Deonna Purrazzo doing her technical wrestling. Mariah May doing her style. Deonna Purrazzo ends up getting the win via roll-up, as she did a quick roll-up on Mariah May. And then in comes Toni Storm and attacks Deonna straight away. And both Mariah and Toni Storm are attacking Deonna. And then Thunder Rosa comes in and makes the save. Bit of tension between Deonna and Thunder Rosa after the save, as we saw last week, just vice versa. But good segment. I think this is going to lead to a fatal 4-way at some point, or a triple threat at some point. And I'm keen for that. But I think this weekend, we're going to see Toni Storm retain her title against Thunder Rosa. We then had a match between my favorite wrestler, Orange Cassidy, taking on Shane Taylor. Yeah, Orange Cassidy... You guys know he's not my favorite. Takes on Shane Taylor. Typical Orange Cassidy match. He takes a lot of heat. Takes a lot of offense on him. Selling like crazy. Then a huge comeback. Couple orange punches. Gets the win on Shane Taylor. And yeah, simple as that. Then after the match, another beatdown onto Orange Cassidy. This time there's no one there to save him. No Shibata. No Chuck Taylor. So eventually... a couple people come out in Matt Sydal and Christopher Daniels, but Trent Beretta just stops them dead in their tracks with a steel chair, and he allows Shane Taylor Promotions to carry on beating up Orange Cassidy. So this is going to continue their feud. I assume this match is going to happen at Double or Nothing between Orange Cassidy and Trent Beretta. I'm just glad Orange Cassidy is not involved in the title scene anymore, whether it's the international title, whether it's any other title. I'm just glad he's doing something different. But we all know he's going to beat Trent Beretta, and it's going to amount to absolutely nothing. We then had the main event match of the night between Will Ospreay and Claudio Castagnoli. And this was a banger. What do you expect? It's Will Ospreay and Claudio Castagnoli, two excellent wrestlers. Great match. Ospreay selling his ass off for Claudio. Claudio looking good as always. But then Ospreay ends up getting the win with a hidden blade. 1, 2, 3. And then out comes the Don Callis family, another post-match attack. Takes out Claudio Castagnoli, and then out comes Moxley, and Moxley gets rid of the Don Callis family. You can see Will Ospreay on the outside kind of confused on like what the Don Callis family is doing. This was obviously not discussed between them. This was obviously not said to Will Ospreay, and he's not a fan of this. He eventually walks off away from the Don Callis family. The dissension is happening. Will Ospreay is going to get attacked by the Don Callis family this weekend. I think Bryan Danielson might actually get the win at Dynasty due to the Don Callis family turning on Ospreay. I don't know. I hope not. I hope that match is as clean as it gets. No interferences. I don't want none of that. But That might happen. If not during the match, definitely after the match. Now, we then move on to Swerve Strickland coming out to the ring and calling out Samoa Joe to have a conversation. Security stops Samoa Joe from coming out. Swerve jumps off the top rope, dives onto Joe, or dives onto the security with his feet first. So he does a swerve stomp onto a whole bunch of security. Stands face to face with Joe. They get into it. They start fighting. Joe eventually lands a muscle buster on Swerve, leaving him laying on the ground. That's another week Swerve has been left laying on the ground. Swerve just looks stupid in this feud. Every time he calls Joe out, he just gets laid on the floor. And I know it's the idea of him being the punching bag, as Joe said, and that he won't stop getting back up. I understand that, but make me think that he can actually beat this guy. Judging off these attacks, I don't think he can beat him. I think it's going to happen because wrestling logic. But if I had no wrestling logic, I think this is easy for Joe. Anyway, that was AEW Dynamite. Decent show. Maybe lacking one or two big moments, I think. Maybe lacking a couple stars. Maybe lacking the likes of Bryan Danielson and those around. Good to have Jon Moxley back, of course. He's a big star. Every single match had a beatdown afterwards. Every single match. Every match. And it just became the same thing happening over and over again, just with different characters and a slightly different story. So that needs to change. I think we need a bit of variety in the show sometimes. But then again, when they do it to a level where it's overbooking, like last week with Joe getting attacked before his Dustin Rhodes match. But anyway, that was AEW Dynamite. I enjoyed the show nonetheless. Let me know what you guys thought about the show. Give it a rating from 1 to 10 down below. And we'll see you guys next time. Take care. Peace.